GREYS, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Harry Buchanan from the Greyhound Insider, Jaycin Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Shaun Mathieson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great GREYS.
Good morning and welcome along to Great GREYS on this Thursday, the 29th of February 2024. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well. Looking forward to a big program. All of our regulars to join us. Harry Buchanan, Jaycin Campbell. We'll catch up with Neil Brown, head across to South Australia for the latest with Shaun Mathieson, Simon Orchard to talk all things New South Wales, and of course the train will be with us to toot home the Great GREYS episode this morning. Let's get out to Harry Buchanan though on this beautiful Thursday morning here in Perth. Let's find out how it is in his backyard across there in New South Wales. Welcome to you, Harry. How do we find you today?
Good morning, Shorty. You find me lifting myself up off the canvas. Lucky to make the show today, Shorty. 36 degrees, if you don't mind. Cut it out, weather. I can't handle this one iota. I don't know how you blokes do it. I just don't.
Oh, that's good. Good humour. Very good humour. Enjoy the entree there at 36 degrees, Harry. That's just a little hors d'oeuvre across here in the west, but we hope that it's okay for you today across there. I'm sure the air conditioning will be cranking up on all cylinders.
There's, you're not sure of it, brother. It's been on all morning. I can promise you. It's working triple time at the moment. And I don't even think it knows what's in it. So it's as hot as we've had this summer, 36 here in Sydney. So, yeah, it's a different kind of feeling to that regular 25 that we get. So I kind of know what you've been going through, and I've got a new appreciation for the hot weather now. So, yeah, it's a tough gig, let me tell you that, Shorty.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of hot, we've got some really hot action to look forward to across here in the west over the next few days. Of course, we've got the Great Western Final on Friday night out there at Mandurah. That's going to be a really good race, cracking free-for-all as well. But Saturday night out there at Cannington promises to be a wonderful night of chasing. Of course, we've got the Canning Final, of course, that pays tribute to one of our all-time legends when it comes to the world of training over here in WA, and Keith Harding. And the other real exciting part of the night will be the opportunity to see some of these East Coasters that are across here and having a warm-up for our Perth Cup and Galaxy heats, which are on next Saturday night. Of course, the first of those, we see Sunset Louis taking on Flying Frida, Chloe Ant, Zyland Bale, newcomer from the East Coast, Hurricane Taylor, Ballistic Ant, Zipping Neutron across from South Australia, and Couch Surfer. And then in the Perth Cup prelude, it's Hinto in 1, Bungee Man 2, Barbecue Man in 3, Inside Scoop in 4, Cook de Bale in 5, Moment Hustle 6, Solidified 7, and last week's Puppy Classic winner, Sunset Frazier, in box number 8. Two cracking races on the card there on Saturday night at Cannington, Harry.
Absolutely, Shorty, and that's, as they say, the prelude. We got the heats coming up a week later, and the stayers is really interesting there. It's pretty even now, with Couch Surfer probably not at his absolute top. Or probably nowhere near it, to be quite frank. Levels that field right out. We have Sunset Louis sitting up in his box there in box 1, Flying Frida, who's got that early speed. Zyland Bale debuting for Graham and Enzo, and he trialled really well over the 600 last week. So he's had a look at the circuit, and he steps up to the 700 here. Hurricane Taylor in rare form at the moment. Ballistic Ant, Zipping Neutron, the South Australian dog. He's a 29-time winner, this dog. I know he won a fair few races, but I wasn't quite aware that it was actually 29 from 61 starts. And look, it could be argued that it's been in much easier company in South Australia, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and he doesn't just beat him over there. He really gives it to him. He's had some really big margins under his victories, so he brings another element into that race on Saturday night. To the prelude there, I'm not sure what more. I do believe we might have one or two more Victorian dogs coming across for the Galaxy. That remains to be seen, but that's just a little bit of a whisper thereabouts. And the Perth Cup prelude, well, look, this is really interesting because with Sunset Frazier now the dog that goes 5:30 to the mark. He's got the second split as well. He's going to swish straight across the face of the field here, and who knows what that's going to do to the first turn here. These dogs probably can't match him, even Moment to Hustle. He really probably cannot go with this dog to the mark. The way he is beginning and showing that speed at the moment. Coulterbale broke 30 in a trial. Another one debuting for Graham and Enzo. He went around last week and he was very, very good. I think he went around 29.87. He's a dog with a big finish on him, big last section. He's got some very strong Victorian form bringing into this. Barbecue Man, the old Warrior Hinto sitting up in box one. He'd probably just sit there and smoke his pipe. He might be the one, He can come from anywhere in the field, as you know. Bungee Man's racing well. Solidify's got a stack of ability, as does Inside Scoop, but it really does depend on what Sunset Frazier does to the field as he waltzes across there, because they really won't match him to the first mark. And then the Canning Trophy final, much like the final on Friday night, Shorty, there's, even as they get across the board here, you could make a case for all 8 dogs in both finals. Rip and Tomahawk in 1, Agent 11, Sunset Mirage, they all go quick, putting Manelli back in form. Bo Cruz racing well, Eugenius was good, Kenya Mia with speed. It's just so open, and you could pick any one of those dogs and there'd be no surprise who could get the cash there. And that race on Friday night, I think, is superb. The Great Western Final. Alden Manelli, our old mate last week, we'll have a little spec on him at each way quote, but I think David Hobby's got a strong hand with Hornet and Callisto, the 2 Sunset dogs out wide there. But again, all 8 dogs could run a race in that final and not surprise. And it's just a superb weekend of racing, Shorty, that starts tomorrow night. A couple of really good support races on the Cannington card on Saturday night. It's worth noting, too, that in race 7, the dog in box 5 there, Zinzan Chopper, I'd imagine that he's going to have a look around Cannington in his start on Saturday, possibly in preparation for a Galaxy, because he's a dog that has just come out of a feature final in Melbourne, and he's a very capable stayer, this bloke. So not sure whether he did nominate for the Galaxy field or not, but it's good to see that he's got a start and we get to see what he can do. But there are a few dogs in those other support races that we will see line up in the week's time in the heats of the Perth Cup and also that Galaxy. It's a good time, Shorty, for Perth racing at the moment. Carnival really heating up.
Big stuff. Very exciting few weeks ahead. And then, of course, we march on towards the Sandgroper. So the next 6 weeks of chasing here in WA, right at the pointy end, and can't wait to get involved, roll up the sleeves and find plenty of winners over the next little patch. OK, Harry, let's see if we can't find the punters 1 or 2 specials around the grounds for tonight. Kicking off here locally at Mandurah. I do like the look of this program. It's 12-race card. The first gets underway 6:53 Western Standard Time this evening. Who are you keen on?
Yeah, I think we can get a couple tonight there as well, Shorty. And I'm going to kick it off in race 3 here with Hard Emoji, number 7. Got beaten last week by Neon Leon, but came from a long, long way back. She can step better than that. And she came out of the 4 last week, had to do too much work from the back. I just think out wide here, she's going to get a little bit more room to operate and possibly land a little bit closer. She uses that big long straight to cut loose, and if she does get close, she'll be very, very hard to hold out here. So we'll team up with her in race 3. Go down to race 10 here. I think the dog in box 2, Uncompromised, gets a lovely map here, courtesy of Diesel Fit Her in box 1, who goes really quick in the last little big contest, the red dog. He just needs to truck up behind him here, and I think he can finish over the top of him. Not a winning machine by any standard, but he's gone 22-6 thereabouts in the past, and I think he can go a bit better. And then we'll finish it off in the last race. Ghost Emoji, number 5 here. He lines up against a kennel mate in box 1 in Sneaky Emoji. They have panels on the rest of this field. They're coming out of that Puppy Classic final last week into grade 5, 6, if you don't mind. They'll be very hard to stop here. The 2 reserves go in to boxes 3 and 4. That just makes their job a whole lot easier now. Not that it was overly difficult, with all due respect to the opposition, but they just have so much talent on this field. I'm going to stick with Ghost Emoji. I think he's the better dog. I think he's the faster dog. He does have the trickier box, and I'm hoping for that reason we get the better price. But do not dismiss the red dog. You could possibly even save on the Quinella there, because I do think they will clear out, all things being equal. but ghost emoji. Just follow him. I'd imagine you'll see him back at Kennington in a week's time. So they'll be the 3 or 4 Mandro. Race 3, number 7. Race 10, number 2. Race 12, number 5, with a possible 1 and 5 Quinella.
Very nice. The thoughts of Harry Buchanan tonight there at Mandra. What about across there at Sandown this evening?
Yeah, a couple of our old mates there. Race 4, number 3, Rock Me Rocco. He's knocking on the door, and he's finally got a decent draw tonight. I think he can land much closer and get the job done if he can track into it up the back with little fuss. I think he's got a much easier assignment compared to what he's been racing as well, and he's around that $4.50 mark with Tab Touch, and he's certainly worth an each-way ticket. He's been knocking on the door, as I said, and he will get his chance tonight. He goes really well track and trip, and I don't think that he's going to get too far back here. So we'll start off with him. Going down to race 5 here, old mate Fabsy's Vegetable. He gets a nice little class drop. You look at his form guide. He's got form behind Raiders Guide last week in that feature race, the rookie Rebel, right back through Stomping, Succeed, Keener Jack. It's a very, very strong form line. He's a 15-time winner. He goes really well around here. He's better than these. He can really put some time on the clock when he gets running. He was running into the race last week, and he just got a check at the wrong time. He was going to finish much closer with Gary Stun on inside him. He just gets a nice little cart round to the first turn. He should be able to take over and get the job done. He's the class runner here. 280 with Tab Touch, that's a bet. Race 10, number 7, Lauded Express, another dog who, I think he's had a kennel change recently, if I'm not mistaken, now with Taylor Cottrell. And this is a dog that, look, he can go quick and he can go really quick on the arm, but he's got a bit of 600-metre form as well, and I've noticed he can also come from off the arm if he has to, which he didn't once do as a young dog. So 2 from 2 out of box 7. I'm expecting him to step here and put himself straight into the race, and don't be surprised if he puts a bit of time on the clock if he does lead at the first turn. But in saying that, if he does land close enough, he will keep coming, and he's got good strength at the back end. So race 4, number 3. Race 5, number 4, he's the best bet for Absies. And race 10, number 7, Lauded Express at Sandown this evening, Shorty.
Very nice indeed. 4, 3, 5, 4, 10, 7 for Harry tonight there at Sandown. Promises to be another spectacular night of chasing there. We'll hear from Neil Brown a little later on in the program with his thoughts on that card as well. And Brownie away for the next month. So the man that joins Harry and I on our podcast every Friday, the male collection in Ethan Christian, will be filling in for Brownie over the next month, with Brownie doing his last spot for 4 weeks today before heading off on a cruise. So it'll be great to have Ethan, who has been a great addition to our male collection podcast each Friday in recent weeks. Harry, it's been great to have him on board. He's found a stack of winners, and he'll be with us over the next month here on the Great Greys on the Thursday morning with Brownie on the high seas.
Yeah, that's a good get, Shorty. He's doing a superb job for us on a Friday on the mail collection, and you'll see his work on Twitter as well. He puts his markets up and he finds them at the right price, and he's having a really good run at the moment. So looking forward to him joining us on Great Greys, and he'll continue to do his good work for us on the mail collection. We will hear from him tomorrow, and it's an exciting day for him tomorrow too, Shorty. He has a runner in the Horsham Cup heat, so I think it's race 6 there, box 2, Top Payer. Unfortunately, he's got a dog called Explicit boxed inside him, but I'm sure he'll do Eason proud, 17-time winner, and we'll be cheering him on hard tomorrow, Top Payer. So we wish him well, and we'll talk more about that on the mail collection tomorrow.
Indeed, we're only a minute away for the first race for broadcast here on Great Greys, the first from Kembla Grange. But just quickly, last night there at Cannington in a quali trial, Paul Stewart unleashed a canine by the name of Jimmy's Jet, who went 21 and 31 over the 380 metres. Hooly dooly 8, so don't go much quicker than that. Can't wait to see this dog progress. We are going to have to fly because Kembla's on the map now, but I look forward to talking about that dog with you tomorrow on the mail collection. We'll chat then.
Hey, Shorty, goodbye.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where it's now 18 minutes after 10 o'clock. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well. Time to catch up with Jaycin Campbell. Have a look out chasing up in Queensland as well as down in Tassie for tonight. Welcome to you, Jace. How's things going in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, very well, Shorty. Getting a bit of the WA heat over here. I think it's got to be a top of 37 where I'm at. So probably nothing like what you've experienced over the last couple of weeks, but it's bloody hot, I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, nice to see the East Coast copping some of this lovely warm weather that we've had here in WA for a significant period. Lots to look forward to up there tonight. Good program at Albion Park. Some good chasing down there at Hobart as well tonight. Well done last week. You saw them particularly well. Let's hope we can find some winners again tonight for the listeners. Talk us through your best bets this evening there at Albion Park.
Yeah, great night of racing at Albion Park. Feature race, well, not a feature race, but the feature of the night will be the fifth grade 600-metre final. And, yeah, race 8, it is an absolute ripper. Pursuer and Doing Fine both look like group dogs over 700. And then you got Seven Sinners, Dixie Gamble's, like really, really strong race. We'll kick off in race 2. Number 4, Kushti Bok here for me. I could just poke a few holes in the dogs that have taken up a bit of the market here. Mystical Beth was brilliant on Monday night, winning in 34.94 over 600 metres. However, has to make that step up to the 7:10 now. On the 4-day backup, has never raced at this distance. Think she might be very, very tired late in the piece here. Witty Wendy, box 7, another one that needs to lead over the 700 metres to show her best. I don't think she'll get that lead with Mystical Beck in the race. With this, I'm happy to be with Kushti Bok. He has had a plethora of running over the 700 metres now. He's a very young dog. He's only 2 years and 1 month of age. I think he's starting to get rock hard fit over this distance, and I think we'll get to see the best of him over the next 6 months. I think he'll be very hard to beat, and he's a nice price.
Very nice. 2-4 Kushti Bok on to the next year plays tonight at Albion Park.
Starting with the 6th runner here, Wakari Molly, in race. Just don't think there's a lot of speed in this race. Albert's Memory here, I think, is a false favourite. He's had 6 starts over this track and trip, hasn't won to date, is a bit of a slow beginner and does want to use a bit of the track. So happy to bet around him. Wakari Molly, she's had 3 runs back now at the 5:20. I think she's ready to peak. She gets that vacant box to her inside. And as I mentioned, just not a lot of speed in this race. I think she'll lead this race and prove very hard to run down.
All righty, race 4, number 6, Wakari Molly. And the 30 it plays is your best.
Yeah, best bet here, Cincinnati Alana. She's opened up short enough, and she's been hammered pretty much into $1.45. Just finds a lovely race here. Only a 5-dog field. 3 of those 5 dogs step out of Masters Company up to a 4th grade race. So that's a pretty big step up in competition. Whereas Cincinnati Alana, she's been going around in 3rd, 4th, and 2nd grade races of late, up and into the likes of Inevitable, All Natural, Cluster, King of Aces, Captain Larry. The list does go on. This is the easiest race in quite some time. I think should be very hard to beat off box 2.
All right, so we've got 3 plays tonight there. Albion Park up there at the Creek. 2-4 Kushti Bok, race 4, number 6, Waikari Molly, and race 9, number 2, Cincinnati Alana is the best of them. Heading down to Tasmania tonight, chasing at Hobart. A couple of plays for the punters.
Yeah, I'll just run straight through these 2 plays if you don't mind, Shorty. Race 4, number 2, Dewana Milo. Returned from a 6-month break with 5 starts to date. Hasn't run a place since. However, I think it finds its race tonight. Draws well in box 2. Not a lot of speed in this Masters event. I think the key to it is getting back to its pet track and trip over the 461 metres at Hobart, where it's won 5 of 28 with a further 9 placings. 2 starts go, run behind Harden Up Johnny and a few really sharp dogs in that race. Did run 26.50. That time is probably good enough to win this race. So I think it'd be very hard to beat, especially if it gets its own way on speed. And race 5, number 5, Brookwood Violet. Young bitch, well, not a young bitch, lightly raced bitch, 2 years and 7 months. Superior Panama bitch. She has done, both her races have been at Launceston. She goes to Hobart now over to 340 metres. She runs second last start to Diane's Beauty. She has since come out and won a race. It's a maiden race, but a lot of these dogs have their convictions. I don't think she has any convictions today. She seems genuine enough. I think $4 is a pretty fair price to find out.
Excellent. Race 4, number 2, Dewana Milo. Race 5, number 5, Brookwood Violet. The 2 dogs to follow tonight down there in Tasmania for our man Jaycin Campbell. Anything from your kennel worth following the next few days, Jace?
Well, I've only got 1 runner in. So, Dixie in race 8. Box 8 is a bit of a prick of a box for her. She's had 9 starts and yet to win from the 8 box. Only a little small bitch. Don't think she'll get across. I think the 4 Doing Fine will be very hard to beat in that race. He maps particularly well. Just not a race I want to tip or bet in. Just want to sit back and watch it. So I think it's probably the race tonight.
All right, let's hope that she can spear out and overcome that wide draw. She's going particularly well. She can be very proud of the deeds of Dixie Gambles in recent times. Jace, really do appreciate your time here on Great Greys. Good luck with all of those tips this evening. We'll be cheering hard for them.
Thank you, Shorty.
There we have it. Jaycin Campbell joining us this morning here on A Great Greys, where it's now 23 minutes after 10. Let's head back to Maddie and see if we can't clear the dividends from the first race of the day there at Kembla Grange.
Won by Midori Giant, $4.70 and $1.30. Centolino, $4.10. Bushgirl, $1.20. $42 Quinella, $53.40 Exacta. $293.10 Trifecta. First four on 4, 2, 6 and 3 pays $662.40. No scratchings, and there goes correct weight. Tote pays now on the first. Race 2, it's in 25 minutes at 10 to 11. The favourite at 2.45 is Private Legacy in fixed betting, and they will go round in the second.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great Greys.
One man that always brings us good oil here on a Thursday on Great Greys is Neil Brown. He's about to embark on a lovely cruise and have a nice break away from the program for the next month or so, but the very talented Ethan Christian will join us over that 4-week period. Welcome to you, Brownie. Nice to have you on the program. How do we find you today?
I'm well, David. A bit cooler here in Victoria and, very pleasant day and good night for greyhound racing tonight at Sandown Park on what looks a really tough assignment tonight, David.
It does. Brownie, just quickly before we get into tonight's card there at Sandown, I've had a query from one of our listeners. Where are the Nationals going to be held in 2024?
In Adelaide, David. Looking forward to being in Adelaide in August. It's always a terrific venue to have the Nationals, and they look after us a treat, as every other state does. So, yeah, we're in Adelaide, David. Looking forward to it.
Magnificent. Well, that's exactly what that listener would have been looking for, and they can make their plans and flights for a bit of a holiday across there to Adelaide in August, and I'm sure it's going to be, as always, a spectacular time. All right, Brownie, for that particular listener, they're going to have to back a few winners to pay for the flights and accommodation over there in South Australia. Let's see if we can help them tonight there at Sandown with the early quaddie.
Yeah, good luck, David. Race number 1. This is a happy 14th leap year birthday for board director Vicky Nolan and her twin sister Melissa. So we're having a bit of a celebration there tonight at Sandown. Looking forward to it. It's a mixed 6th and 7th grade over the 5.15. I'm keeping on the Mustang on top. Just going to take the 3, 1 and 6. I think the other two have got some sort of chance. Race number 2. Here we've got a mixed 6th and 7th grade final. Again, I'm going with the 3 here to beat 2. The 1's come out, replaced by the 10, and I'm going to take number 8 as well. But I've got 3 on top, Utrillo Bale for the Grenfell kennel. I think it might be the one to beat. Race number 3, third leg of the early quad, grade 6 here, over the 5.15. Pretty hard race, plenty of chances here. I've gone 5, 3, 2 and 1. I've got Buchanan Bale on top for Tommy Daly. Coming out of that middle draw, a bit of early pace, form's been good. And in race number 4, 5.15 metre grade 5 here, I went 3, 4 and 1, got Rock Me Rocco, a reasonable record here at Sandown, pretty honest type in a race with a few chances. Certainly the 4 and the 1 will keep the greyhound competitive. So that's the early quad, David. We move on to race number 5, 5.95 metre grade 5 here, and a pretty open race. Thought there was 3 chances, 3, 1 and 4. I've gone for Joey Stun-On. One here on a Sunday, a couple of starts ago over this distance, and he has got a couple of wins on the track. I think he might be the one to beat. Pretty competitive race. Zodiac Bale off the 1, definitely a chance from there. And Fab Spencer, well, he hasn't won for a while. Fab Spencer, well, we know he's capable, and he's got a couple of wins here on the track, a fast time of 33 and 93, so we're throwing him in as well. 3, 1 and 4 in an open first lead. Race number 6, 5.15 metre mixed stake here. I've gone 1, 6 and 2. Kenya All Class, pretty short, David, showing about $1.45. It looks hard to beat from box number 1. Impeccable record at the moment. Only lightly raced greyhound. Had the 7 starts and 5 wins. Has won here in fast time and certainly run some time at the Meadows too. So it looks a real up-and-comer for Jess Hopkins. Kenya All Class off the red, but pretty short, David. Race number 7. This is a very difficult race. I think any of these could win. I'm going to take 7, 6, 1 and 2. I've got Ashton, Michigan on top, probably the most experienced greyhound over this distance in this race, and has got a reasonable record here at Sandown Park, but it is an open race. I think the others have got chance. Big Yeti we haven't seen over the 595 before, but certainly looks as though it can run it out. And the two draw on the inside, Riptide, Russley and Spirit Will both got chances in the race, but it's a tough third lead. Race number 8's a good race here. We've got a 5:15 free for all. Greyhound's in pretty good form. I think it's open 3, 2, 5 and 2 I'm going to take. Elite Alex, really impressed with his win last week. He's got a wonderful record at Sandown, 7 and 3 from 16, and he races really well here. In good form at the moment. I think he's the dog to beat, but certainly chances to Isles Entity. It races quite well. It's 1-4 here. It's got box number 2. Here comes Millie's got plenty of early pace, so she can come out running. And Tommy Tequila, well, he got under our guard last week. We deserted him, and he had box 1. He's gone right out to box 8 tonight, so he's very unfamiliar territory for Tommy. But I think, he could spear out and find the lead. So he's racing in very, very good form. 3, 2, 5 and 8 are very open, but good free for all to finish the quaddy off, David. Looking for good things. Well, I didn't think there was anything that really stood out. You might want to take a multi-Kenya all-class into Hector Frawley, but Hector's pretty short and he looks he's a mile in race number 9, doesn't he? So the two shorties, maybe couple them up, David, but I didn't think anything else jumped off the paper at us tonight, so good luck and good punting at Sandown Park.
Beautifully done, Brownie, and good luck to you. Well-deserved break for you. Enjoy the high seas over the next few weeks. Much love from all of our listener base. Thank you for arranging Ethan. We've been working with him on a Friday on the Mail Collection podcast. He's a fine young man. He's a great talent, and he's a great replacement over the next little bit for those big shoes that you leave while you're across there having that break. We'll look forward to our chat in about a month's time. Brownie, have a pina colada for us up there on the top deck.
Good will, certainly will, David. Thanks, mate, and I'll talk to you in a month.
Good man. There we have it. Neil Brown, the Famer, with us this morning here on a Great Greys. Next race for a broadcast here on the program comes up at 10:50, so we've got approximately 20 minutes until they get going there. A quick market update. Private Legacy, our $2.45 favourite on the fixed odds, just out of touch from 2.30. Money's been good for Highborn Harry, 10, halving the quote into $5 now. Rattle and Hum, $5.50 and firm. Sovereign Dane, $7.50 out to $9. This is the moment, 7 out to $9.50. Long Memory, 11 to 12. Divine Outcast, 12 out to 15. Last Ditch Effort's been 18 out to 19, back into 18. Mil Ciento, 26 into 23, and the outsider of the field, Rough, is living up to its name. It's 21 out to $34. That will take place in 18 minutes' time. Matty, anything else to report? Doesn't sound like it across there at the moment. So what we will do now is look forward to welcoming in our next guest here on Great Greys on this Thursday morning, and we'll head across to South Australia, see if we can catch up with our great mate Sean Matheson to have a look at another very busy night of chasing over there in SA. We will, of course, also grill him on a couple of the South Australian dogs that we may get a chance to see up close and personal here across in WA for our upcoming Perth Cup and Galaxy Series. Sean Matheson, how do you do today?
Good, David. Yeah, great to be on the show again. Plenty happening in the world of greyhound racing, and we've got a really good program here in South Australia, highlighted by the SA Launching Pad Final, which is race 8 on the program, where Peekaboo looks really hard to beat for Ben Rawlings and potentially book his spot in the Launching Pad heats in a couple of weeks' time in Victoria. But as you mentioned, we've also got some high-quality SA greyhounds making the trip across the Nullarbor to your big feature carnival coming up, which is going to be exciting.
Big time, yeah. Looking forward to seeing a bunch of those over the next little patch, but certainly on Saturday night, it's tremendous from a staying perspective to see Zipping Neutron across here in town. It's been a prolific winner across there in South Australia, winning 29 of 61 starts with a further 13 placings, more than 150,000 in prize money, and last time out there, a nice winner of the free-for-all in 43.02. Zipping Neutron's the sort of dog that should come across and certainly be very competitive here in the West.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, he's been a terrific dog in South Australia for Tim Aloisi for over 12 months. His mantle might have been taken by Leonard Jinks just recently, who took the track record and has been competing in Victoria. But Zipping Neutron, the body of work of this dog has been a dominant factor in staying events in South Australia, multiple feature race wins. And I just think the Cannington Circuit and the 7:15 metres just going to suit him down to the ground. I see he's got it drawn 7 on Saturday night in what's a really nice Galaxy Prelude for your stayers. So you'll get a really good indication of how he's going to progress through the series. But I expect him to run extremely well, season campaigner, and he'll be extremely hard to beat. And I'm pretty sure Tim's got like wildfire in the mix to get across there in the next week for the heats as well.
Excellent. Well, it's always great to see the South Aussies come and visit us here in WA and have a crack at our big races. They've had some success too over the years. Don't worry about that. So looking forward to seeing those runners in the next few weeks. Let's get into this card tonight, though, at Angle Park. Sean, who do you like on this program?
Okay, so for the listeners, we're going to bounce back into form. We had a not great last week, but we'll be right back into form with the first race tonight at Angle Park. Number 2, Crackerjack Hawk for Chris Jench, has created a terrific impression with only 2 starts in South Australia since coming from Victoria, both over the 595, where he has been winning quite well. It was a really good win last week in the 595 final. Steps back to the 530 metre journey here. Don't think it's going to worry him. He showed enough speed over 595 to sit up near speed. The one dog, Plain Rain, is probably your leader, but just struggles to run out a real solid 530 metres. So I think the middle distance form of Crackerjack Hawk, he'll hopefully just sit in nice in behind and just come out in the last part of the race and hopefully run over the top of Plain Rain. They're the 2 dominant dogs in the market. I think they will dominate the race, and I'm pretty sure Crackerjack Hawk will get the job done at the end.
Like it. A race 1, number 2, Crackerjack Hawk. On to the second of your plays.
Second of the plays is in race 3, and it's number 4, Zinfandel Austin, into around that $2, $2.10 mark. It meets a field here which is of a slightly lesser standard than what he's been competing against. This dog has only won 1 race, but it was a heat of the Golden Maiden at the start of his career. Ran second 2 runs ago to Plain Rain, 4th behind Zinfandel Evie, and you got Peaky Boo and Springvale Ada through this dog's form. As I said, finds a really, really winnable race here, and I think he can put himself up near the front, and he'll just be too good for them, I think. Wouldn't be surprised. There is some support for him at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised if there's more support for him.
Alrighty, so the push there for race 3, number 4, Zinfandel Austin, and third of the races for the punters to be getting involved with tonight.
Third of the races for the punters. So race 5, number 5, Minter Redeem, on an each-way basis here, David. I mean, there is only 7 runners. There was a scratching, so it would have been nice to have the 3 dividends on offer here. But with the 7, I still think Minter Redeem can run a bold race, quoted at $11. The favourite is Victor Marley out of the 3 box, who's really short at like $1.50. I think that's just too short for her, I think. Minter Redeem has shown that he can come out running in his races. 5 runs ago, he went a 5.15 to the first mark, ran 30.45 overall. He's a dog that can lead this field, and he did run a really nice second last week. He came out, stumbled a little bit out, got on level terms with Victor Marley, but she was able to push up on the rail and then, clear out from the opposition. Just think if Minter Redeem could happen to find the front here, he could run a really big race at some nice odds.
All right, race 5, number 5, Mint to Redeem at the double figure odds, worth an each way spec. Pay 1 and 2 only. He's to run of gold or silver to get the result there tonight at Angle Park, and looking forward to the feature as well there. I don't think it's a betting affair with Peaky Boo at $1.24, but of course by Tommy Shelby out of West on Poppy. We do know a number of those dogs that have raced very well across here in WA, so good luck to Benny Rawlings with Peaky Boo in the feature tonight there. Opportunity to get across for a slot into the launching pad. Be a pretty exciting addition as well, a Peaky Boo. Also, lots of other chasing over the next couple of days. We've got Gawler on Friday, Angle Park's back with the early start on Saturday morning, and then Murray Bridge on Sunday. Anything of note at those 3 meetings for us, Sean?
Okay, so to be quick for the listeners, I think for Gawler tomorrow, race 3, number 7, Harry for Brenda Oakey. Returned back to the 400-metre journey last week, ran a really good third behind Carry On Jack, who's going really well in South Australia in a really fast time. Box 7 won't hurt his chances. I think he'll be able to just land on speed and be too strong. We'll look at Angle Park on Saturday morning. I like race 7, number 1, Blue Pete for Michael Taylor. On the back of a nice placing at his last start. Had a couple of weeks off, but I think box 1 is a dog that definitely wants to rail over the 530-metre journey. I think he can, again, begin well, be where he wants to be, and it's not an overly strong field on Saturday morning, so I think he'll be hard to beat. And then at Murray Bridge on Sunday night, David, this is the meeting before our Murray Bridge Cup Heat meeting, which will be Monday week. So you've seen there's a lot of strong types appearing at Murray Bridge on Sunday night. The fields are really strong. And I do like race 10, number 6, Oakvale Outlaw for Nicole Price. Winner of 11 of 14 starts. Has gone 22.09 over 3.95. Looks really, really hard to beat. But as mentioned, the whole program on Sunday night, it's worth having a look at because there's plenty of form there.
Indeed. All right, race 10, number 6, Oakvale Outlaw, and that form could well come in handy the week after when we get to see all of the big dogs going around there at Murray Bridge. Tremendous catching up with you, Sean. Appreciate your time as always. Enjoy your chasing over the weekend, and we'll catch up with you next Thursday.
All right, David, always appreciate our talks.
There we have it. Sean Matheson from South Australia talking us through that program tonight at Angle Park, along with Gawler on Friday, Angle Park Saturday morning, and Murray Bridge on Sunday. It is now 10 minutes away from our next race for broadcast here on TAB Radio. It is the second at Kembla Grange. Quick look at the head of the market there. Private Legacy, a $2.30 favourite on the fixed odds with Tab Touch. Open $2.30, got out to $2.50, back into that $2.30 opening quote. Highborn Harry, 10 into 5. Rattle and Hum, $5.50 and firm. This is the moment, 7 out to 9. Sovereign Dane, $7.50 to 11. All other runners, $12 and upwards. The only one that's been backed in of those, Milciento, 26 into $23. Lots going on in New South Wales, chasing as always. The man that joins us each week here on Great Greys to dissect all of the big meetings and find us a winner or two is Simon Orchard. He's been good enough to pick up the phone for us once again on this Thursday morning. Welcome to you, Simon Orchard. How do we find you today? They tell me it's quite warm in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, g'day Shorty, g'day listeners. It is, mate, 40 degrees up here in the beautiful Hunter Valley where I'm located at the moment. Probably a good reminder, jump on the dogs.com.au social pages because we have moved a few meetings over the coming days with the hot weather predicted to continue, Shorty. So have a look there on the socials if you're planning on heading out to a meeting in the next few days. But you mentioned off the top, mate, plenty happening in New South Wales. Saw a very interesting article, not written by us, but on the Recorder website today with Anthony as a party saying that there's too much group racing. Thoughts, mate? What do you reckon about that?
No, not at all. I think compared to I think that at the end of the day, you've got to aspire to have good dogs, and the prize money generally is very good. They're not easy to get. When you get a good dog, I think it's important that they have options personally.
Yeah, well, let me clarify. I reckon he's probably saying programming is the biggest issue, and it comes on the back, of course, some races down in Melbourne, Country Cup, I think at Horsham. over the next few days. We've got the Temora Cup on Sunday. He's nominated a few dogs up here. We've got Country Classic heats going off left, right and centre. We've got the big night at Richmond tomorrow as well, mate. And it all leads, of course, to the Egg Carnival coming in the next few weeks. So I should reiterate, probably saying that the programming is maybe leaving a little bit to be desired. I tell you what, I love it. We've got plenty of content to talk about. I love that people are discussing it because it's important, Shorty. I think greyhound racing a big spike during COVID, but it's important to have these conversations because they always say if it's how it's always been, it's probably not right. So maybe Anthony wants to move into the front office potentially.
Who knows? Look, one thing I'll say, I think programming can be challenging, but the reason why programming is often challenging is because we've got a lot of good prize money races available for high-level greyhounds all around Australia. And from there, I guess what it comes down to from a training and ownership perspective is having choice. You get to handpick which series you like to go into with your dogs. I'd prefer that than having limited options and being forced to go into one particular race. Surely choice as a consumer, a trainer, an owner, someone like that is really important, and I'd prefer to have more choice rather than less choice, particularly when you're talking about good prize money up for grabs. Yeah,
you're spot on. I guess sport for choice potentially at the moment. Look, you just have to go through the Richmond series, the Oaks and the Derby, obviously the heats last week, the finals tomorrow. With the Temora Cup so close, I guess, the Lord camp, for instance, didn't head to Richmond. You got a dog like Nangar Larry at the moment, who's arguably the best sprinter in New South Wales, who you want to see go around each and every week, but he's probably better suited to the U-turn down at Temora, and I think the Lords will see in the coming days have pulled the right rein. I'm not questioning them at all, but some people would say, well, why hasn't the likes of Nangar Larry or even Nangar Jim headed to the Richmond races? They may be better suited on the big one-turn tracks, and all of a sudden you go down to Temora and you get a tough run up the hill there, but maybe that's better suited to those chasers. Of course, Country Classic races, we're seeing the likes of Palo King come back in trip to try and have a throw at the stumps, as Jack Smith called it this morning at the 600-metre race. It's worth 125k. So, yeah, look, I think it's a valid question to raise, but at the end of the day, mate, as I said, in the content world, we love it because we've got plenty to talk about, lots of great narratives, and we get to see our dogs go around in big races nearly each and every week.
Absolutely. Let's get your thoughts on some of these big races and big meetings over the next few days. Dapto's a sweet spot for you on a Thursday. Anything else for us to have a look at for today?
We'll have a look at Dapto tonight. We mentioned that Country Classic, 600-metre race, of course. It's race 7 on the program. August Bob's an interesting one, Shorty. We had him penned as a dog to potentially watch as a rising star earlier this year. I reckon Steve Fitch maybe hasn't got what he hoped from him so far, but he's certainly got immense potential. He's had a step up in trip to the 600 there, and he's run pretty good time. And it's a heat that's probably devoid of a lot of real depth. I think Mortified's probably a question at the 600. Hasn't been going as well as she was last year. I think the Cumbria dogs Cumbria Kid, for Steve Fitch, as well as an old stager who is going to run an honest race. But I think August Bob is the one with immense potential and upside, and I think he can win tonight. Race 7, number 2, August Bob. Adapto, best bet at the card there tonight. If we turn our attention to Richmond tomorrow, the Oaks, the Derby, a Country Classic heat as well. Race 6 is the Oaks. Shorty, I'm in the camp of Hurricane Rain. I know the Hound, who's our bona fide tipster here, has gone the way of Shanghai Susie, but I like Hurricane Rain from box 1. Tommy Reese would be the envy of every trainer in the state. I think it's her 4th cherry in the last 6 runs. She probably doesn't have the time on the board to maybe knock off a lot of these dogs at her best so far, but she's so lightly raced, Shorty. She's only had 13 starts. Hard to remember. She doesn't turn 2 until April. Again, with the benefit of the rails run, so much speed outside and a lot of speed coming from deep in the likes of My Hepburn from box 7. Embrace is going to be coming across eventually from box 8. In the Sky jumped out, I think Russell Veach said it was like a startled gazelle last week. That's in box 6. So I just think there's speed everywhere. Hurricane Rain is going to be on the rails and hopefully going to get a good run. So 6-1 Hurricane Rain, my tip for the Oaks. And the Derby, I've gone with not without this rising star who absolutely loves the track and trips. 6 out of 7 at Richmond. Box 6 definitely makes it difficult, but 29-3, Shorty. They don't run that time too often at Richmond. 29-5, 29-6 you see on the regular for the really good dogs. The 29-3, his PB, and I reckon he's untapped. Mr. Peregrine, the brother, jumps from box 8. Probably going to be difficult to get across with Go Bear splitting the pair, but I like not without, and I hope he can continue. We need stars in our game. We need rising stars like him to continue winning. So race 8, number 6, not without the best bet in the Derby there. If you want to have a play on Saturday night, we've got a big country classic heat at Dubbo. I mentioned Palawa King going around. Well, probably going to get a bit of a price about a dog by the name of Father Rick, who's just continuing to run wonderful races at the ripe old age of 4. Palawa King in the race, Nangar Lucy in the race, and even Nangar Nelly down in the 1 can all run. So I reckon Father Rick will probably be the biggest price he's been for a while. He's coming off great form down there in Melbourne in a group race. He's seemingly racing better than ever, and I think he's the best play in the Country Classic heat on Saturday night. Race 8, number 2, Father Rick, to take out a talented preliminary of that race. Mate, plenty to talk about. Haven't even got to the Temora Cup, but if you want to have a look ahead on Sunday, history's coming. The Derby winner, I reckon, can run a good race there, and of course, I mentioned Nangar Jim earlier for Joe McFadden's going to be hard to beat as well. So plenty to do, plenty to watch, plenty to see. Jump on thedogs.com.au for all the action and reaction over the weekend.
Love it. Tomorrow Sunday, punters, keep your eyes peeled there for History's Coming and Nangar Jim, 2 of the stars of New South Wales, chasing at the moment. That race at Dubbo on Saturday promises to be an absolute cracker, with Palawa King looking to rattle home off group success last week there at the Meadows, back home in New South Wales, taking on Father Rick, who's been travelling a bit of late as well. And, of course, Richmond Friday night, Elite Dapto tonight. August Bob is the dog we're looking for over the 600 metres. Simon, thank you for joining us here on Great Greys. All the very best to your good self. Stay cool, and we'll keep up with the latest there at thedogs.com.au.
Good on you, mate. Talk next week. Hooroo.
There we have it. Simon Orchard keeping us up to speed with everything New South Wales chasing. We'll throw back to Maddie. They're not far away. Now, from race number 2 of the day here at Kembla Grange, when we return, the Shane Train Williams will join us to round out Great Greys for today.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great Greys.
Well, it's now 8 minutes away from 11 o'clock. We've got 5 minutes until they get going there at Ipswich. Time enough to get through the thoughts of the Shane Train Williams here on the program. Welcome, Shane-o.
Good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners.
It's great to be catching up with you. Let's rip straight into it. Your thoughts for a busy Thursday night of chasing there at Mandurah. Looks a nice card for the punters.
Yeah, it looks a pretty nice card, Shorty. I had to change one of my selections early. I did see the price of Katie Gold, Shorty, way too short for me to be tipping that. So we'll replace that with race 4, number 7, Terramungamine, dog trained by Brad Cook. Very consistent customer, well drawn wide, and got a bit early toe, Shorty. So we'll kick it off there, race 4, number 7. And then we'll go over to race 8, number 5, Grey, who was very impressive last week, running 16.96, but 6.51 early, got the job done. So a repeat of that, Shorty. I can see it go all the way again tonight. So, yeah, 2 there for tonight, Shorty, 4, 7 and 8, 5.
All right, we move on to Friday night chasing there at Mandurah, the final of the Great Western, the feature.
Yeah, Friday night's Mandurah card, Shorty. I'm going to kick it off race 3, number 2, All About Cole. This is a dog trained by Darren Rowe now, formerly a hoppy dog. Darren's taken over its training here. I just think this dog is it's on the up, Shorty. A lot of these dogs have had a few convictions, and I think it's dropping in class, coming out of the City 5 last week back to Mandurah in the Country 4, 5, 6 grade. So I'm keen on that. Race 3, number 2, All About Cole. And then race 4, number 3 in this Great Western final, which is a really good race, Shorty, West on Boomer. I just think Mignon's going to play a big part here. It's drawn in 4, and it does want to go to the outside fence. So it could run cover for the 1, 2, 3 dogs here, and I really, West on Boomer showed really good speed last week and just got picked up late. So I'm going to go race 4, number 3, West on Boomer, on top of race 3, number 2, All About Cole for Friday, mate.
Okay, we move on to Saturday night, Cannington, the heats, preludes of the Perth Cup and Galaxy, and also the Keith Harding final, and your grand old stager, Ripon Tomahawk, draws box number 1 in the Keith Harding Trophy there on Saturday night. Be a nice race to win, and of course this dog continues to front up. He's been one of the more consistent, reliable dogs in training over the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, he's been an absolute stalwart for the kennel, Shorty. We love him. He tries his hardest every week. Box 1 is going to really bring him into play here. It's a pretty open field, but he's going to have to step and hold up, and that's his best chance of winning. To be honest with you, Shorty, I was a tad disappointed in his run last week. I thought he clocked off a bit early there last week, but we just took him in then to Cannington this morning and give him a walk on. So hopefully that sparks him up for Saturday night. But yeah, it'll be great to see the old boy win the Keith Harding. We've been lucky in that race, Shorty. We've won 2 of the last 3, so hopefully he can get the job done for us on Saturday night. But my key plays on Saturday, Shorty, I'm going to kick it off race 8, number 3, Sunset Nightjar. This dog's coming out of the Puppy Classic, a dog with really good early speed. It's amazing. He's won 4 or 5 races. He's still a novice company, Shorty. He's won them non-penalty young Derby heats and Puppy Classic heats, so he's still eligible for novice. I think he can cross the 1 and be hard to beat there. Race 8, number 3, Sunset Nightjar. Go over to race 9, number 8, West on Nugget. Stepping back up in trip now after having a bit of a break. He's 3rd or 4th run back in now. He's drawn out where he wants to be. He's a Fairy Floss Bandit. So I think he'll be hard to beat. And we'll just follow up on Care Factor from last week, Shorty. Rinse and repeat, race 12, number 1. Just throw that into all your multis as well.
Excellent. They're a minute away from the first here at Ipswich over the 800 metres. Get your bets on there, punters. We'll get through your thoughts for the kennel mail, the best of your kennel runners over the next few days, Shane.
Yeah, I'd actually don't mind a few this week, Shorty. We'll kick it off tonight, race 3, number 1, Neon Leon. Look, he's a dog, is what you see is what you get. It's flat out what he's run last week. It's probably the best he can go, but he makes a similar lineup here, and he's got good early speed. So we'll try and kick off the punters with a winner tonight, race 3, number 1. Tomorrow night, Riley keeping race 5, number 5, back to grade 5. Shorty hasn't stepped for a while. If he does happen to step, he'll give him some. He's a very good box dog normally, so hopefully he can find his old box betters. I think it'll be a big price. We can have a small bet each way on him. And then my best for the weekend, I think, is race on Saturday night, race 1, number 1, Enjoyable. This little bitch, she's got good speed, and she pre-trained really well around Kennington before she had then a few starts at Mandurah. So we'll try and get the cash early Saturday, Shorty. Race 1, number 1, Enjoyable.
Magnificent work, Shane. I appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys. Good luck with your tips and, more importantly, good luck with all of your runners. I hope they go well for you over the next few nights.
Thanks, Shorty. Catch you next week, mate.
There we have it. The Shane Train Williams with us here on TAB Radio on Great Greys. Matty, will throw back to you. We're just about set for the first here at Ipswich over the 800 metres.
And the favourite, number 8, Stellar Eagle, $2.50 on the tote, into $2.45 from $3 with Tab Touch.
Casual Man comes forward. Only 2 out by the looks of it. Squeak and Oakfield Panther, who carries the white cap here. We look to be right to go now. Starter climbs the ladder. Half a mile for race 1. The favourite, Stellar Eagle, drawn a middle gate. Ready to jump. Racing now. Pretty even line. Stellar Eagle left just moderately. There's better speed from Fleur de Vie, who's revving up to go forward with Pride of Nala. From out wider then, trying to push forward was Star Spangled Planet. Up on the inside, Evelyn's Joy, then Man Talk. Stellar Eagle to about 6th spot there. Very wide was Squeak around them. In fact, then Lahari. Oakfield Panther back towards the end with Casual Man towards last. Evelyn's Joy held them out, led by 3/4 of a length now. Fleur de Vie second. Stellar Eagle's running into it out deeper along with Squeak, who's right down the outside. Heading the rest then, Pride of Nala. Evelyn's Joy going well, though, 150 metres to go. Punched out by Jones, leads 2 lengths to Fleur de Vie, and it's all Evelyn's Joy. Too quick here. Won it by 3 on the line, beat Fleur de Vie, and Star Spangled Planet got up to run 3rd. Then came Lahari, followed by Pride of Nala. Squeak and Stellar Eagle both wide and both knocked up in the run to the post. Then Oakfield Panther. Next in the field then was back behind those horses, Man Talk, and last of all, Casual Man.
4, 5 and 7. Evelyn's Joy, $5.60, $1.70. Fleur de Vie at $3.30. And third going to Star Spangled Planet, $9.90. Winner at Kembla, number 2, Private Legacy, $1.90, $1.20. 3, Highborn Harry, $1.50. 5, This Is the Moment, $1.90. 4.50, Quinella, $6.70 Exacta. 26.20 Trifecta. 2, 3, 5, 8 first 4, $155.70. Race to race, 14.20, 4 into 2 with no scratchings, and they are interim. On start time at Ararat, number 3, Following C, $2.70 tote, $2.50 in fixed betting.
This is Great Greys on Tab Radio. Go, you good thing.
We'll round out the program for this week with just a few plays tonight there at Mandurah. For me, race 5, number 3, All Over Keisha, down in grade, excellent record, track and trip. Race 6, number 2, Simplicity. The greyhound drawn in the middle, Watch Me, likely to get up the track, could buy Simplicity a bit of space. Got an excellent record when draws down near the fence. Race 9, number 4, Esperance Ace, marvellous run last time out. Rinse and repeat of that sees it the dog to beat. And in the last there, it's the most logical Quinella we've seen on paper for a long time. 1 sneaky emoji and 5 ghost emoji. So a race 5, number 3, race 6, number 2, race 9, number 4, and the Quinella in the last there, race 12, numbers 1 and 5. That's Great Greys done for this week. Back to you, Matty. Thanks as always for your assistance.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.